Good morning, everyone. I'm excited to welcome you all today. Thank you for being here. Today, we're going to explore an intriguing topic, ancient rituals and their modern relevance. The title of our presentation is Ancient Rituals You Can Still Use. Over the next few slides, we'll uncover fascinating rituals from the past and see how they can still be meaningful in our lives today. So let's get started and discover the timeless power of these ancient practices. Let's take a quick overview of what we'll be exploring today. We'll start with an introduction to ancient rituals, understanding what they are and their significance. Then, we'll look into the purpose behind these rituals, why ancient societies performed them, and what they aim to achieve. Next, we'll see how rituals played a role in daily life, shaping routines and social bonds. We'll also highlight some popular ancient rituals that you might still be able to incorporate into your own life today. Moving forward, we'll examine modern adaptations, how these age-old practices have evolved and are still relevant now. We'll delve into the psychological impact of rituals, discovering how they influence our minds and emotions. Then, we'll explore rituals across different cultures, appreciating their diversity and commonalities. We'll also review some case studies of successful ritual integration, showing real-world examples of their benefits. Finally, we'll wrap up with a conclusion emphasizing the timeless nature of rituals and their ongoing relevance across generations. This overview sets the stage for a fascinating journey into understanding how rituals shape human experience across time and cultures. Welcome to this section where we'll explore ancient rituals. Today, I want to highlight how these rituals played a vital role in shaping early societies and spiritual practices. They weren't just ceremonies, they were deeply connected to people's understanding of the universe, the gods, and their community. We'll see that many rituals were performed to mark important life events, like birth, coming of age, or death, serving as transitions and affirmations of social bonds. It's also fascinating to consider how these rituals often involved symbols and gestures that conveyed complex meanings, many of which we can still find echoes of today. Throughout our discussion, keep in mind how these ancient practices reflect humanity's universal quest for connection, understanding, and meaning. By studying these rituals, we gain insight into the beliefs and values that have shaped cultures across time, helping us better understand the roots of modern spiritual and cultural traditions. Let's take a closer look at what we mean by understanding rituals. Rituals are essentially symbolic actions that are performed in a specific order. They're not random. They follow a set sequence that's often linked to cultural or religious beliefs. These actions help mark important life events, like coming of age, marriage, or spiritual ceremonies. They also serve to connect individuals to their heritage, creating a sense of continuity and belonging. Think of rituals as a way for communities to come together and reaffirm shared values. They provide structure and meaning, helping people feel connected to something larger than themselves, whether that's their culture, faith, or tradition. When we look back in history, ancient rituals were especially important. They had vital communal and spiritual roles. They weren't just about tradition, but about strengthening social bonds and aligning the community with divine or spiritual forces. Understanding the historical context of these rituals really deepens our appreciation for how they shape society. They reflect societal values and serve as a bridge between the past and the present. Many modern practices still carry these fundamental ideas, creating a sense of unity, purpose, and identity. Essentially, rituals have always been about bringing people together, reinforcing social norms, and expressing shared beliefs. They foster connections, promote stability, and help communities navigate life's transitions. Even today, these functions remain incredibly relevant, as rituals continue to serve as vital tools for social cohesion and personal meaning. Now, let's take a closer look at some of the main types of ancient rituals and what they tell us about those societies. First, we have religious rituals. These were deeply rooted in tradition and served as structured ways for people to express their faith and build a sense of community. They often involved ceremonies that connected individuals to the divine, helping them feel closer to higher powers. But beyond that, religious rituals also played a vital role in maintaining cultural values and offering moments for personal reflection and spiritual renewal. Even Even today, we see their influence, reminding us of how central faith and community are in human life. Next, there's the category of agricultural rituals. These were especially important in ancient societies that depended heavily on farming. People performed these ceremonies to ensure a successful harvest and to seek favorable weather conditions. They often included offerings to gods or spirits, communal prayers, and celebrations tied to seasonal changes. These rituals highlight the deep bond humans had with nature, a connection that's still relevant as we focus on sustainable practices today. It's fascinating to see how these ancient customs reflect an understanding of our environment and our dependence on it. Finally, we have healing rituals. These were practiced to restore health and balance within the individual. They often involved ceremonies, prayers, and natural elements like herbs or sacred objects. What's truly interesting is that these rituals weren't just about physical healing. They also aimed to restore emotional and spiritual well-being. They reveal a profound understanding of the mind-body connection that many holistic health practices today continue to explore. So, in essence, these rituals show us that ancient cultures recognized the importance of spiritual and emotional health, ideas that remain vital in modern approaches to wellness. Today, I want to talk about the purpose of ancient rituals, which is a fascinating aspect of understanding human history. At their core, these rituals served as a way for communities to connect with the divine or the spiritual realm. They were not just about tradition. They carried deep meanings, often representing hopes, fears, or social bonds. For example, many rituals were performed to ensure a good harvest, to seek protection, or to honor deities. They also reinforced social cohesion, bringing people together around shared beliefs and practices. By participating in these rituals, individuals and communities expressed their identity and maintained cultural continuity. Overall, ancient rituals were more than ceremonies. They were vital tools for survival, social structure, and spiritual connection. Understanding their purpose helps us appreciate how early societies made sense of the world around them and sought to influence it. So, on this slide, we're exploring the idea of spiritual connection and how ancient rituals play a vital role in deepening our spiritual awareness. These rituals are more than just traditions. They're tools that help us foster a stronger connection with ourselves and the universe around us. By engaging in these practices, we cultivate mindfulness, encourage reflection, and even build a sense of community. All of these elements work together to give us a greater sense of purpose and a feeling of transcendence in our daily lives. Now, another key point is that these rituals act as a bridge, connecting us directly with the divine. They create a sacred space where communication with higher powers or the divine becomes possible, transcending our everyday experiences. These acts of devotion or ceremony provide guidance, comfort, and a sense of belonging within the larger cosmos. Overall, what we see here is how ancient rituals are powerful tools for enhancing our spiritual awareness and establishing a meaningful connection with the divine. They remind us that spirituality isn't just about beliefs. It's about actively engaging in practices that connect us deeper to ourselves, others, and the universe. Now, let's talk about social cohesion and how it plays a vital role in building strong communities. Throughout history, ancient rituals have been a powerful tool for bringing people together. These rituals weren't just about tradition. They helped reinforce shared values and created a sense of belonging among community members. When people participate in these collective practices, they develop trust and strengthen their relationships, which is essential for a cohesive society. What's really interesting is how these rituals foster a collective identity. By engaging in shared activities, communities unite around common cultural practices, which reinforce their values and heritage. This shared experience helps individuals feel connected not only to one another, but also to their cultural roots and goals. Essentially, these rituals serve as a foundation for social bonds, allowing communities to celebrate their identity and work together more effectively. So, in the bigger picture of our presentation, understanding these ancient methods of building social cohesion reminds us how crucial shared practices are for creating resilient, unified communities. something that's just as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. Today's slide focuses on rituals in daily life, and I want to emphasize how these routines shape our identity and culture. Rituals are more than just habits. They often carry deeper meanings and traditions that connect us to our communities and ourselves. For example, morning routines, family dinners, or even small gestures like greeting someone with a smile. All of these are rituals that create a sense of stability and belonging. Highlighting these rituals helps us see how they reinforce our values, traditions, and social bonds. They serve as anchors amidst the chaos of daily life, providing comfort and continuity. As we look at this, think about how such small, consistent actions contribute to a larger cultural or personal narrative. In the context of our overall theme, understanding these rituals reveals the importance of mindful participation in our daily routines. It's about appreciating the significance behind the everyday and how these rituals help us maintain our identity and connect with others. Now, let's look at how incorporating rituals into our modern lives can really make a difference. Starting with morning routines, these are more than just habits. They serve as a kind of modern ritual that helps ground us for the day ahead. By intentionally including practices like meditation, expressing gratitude, or practicing mindful eating, we can clear our minds and boost our emotional well-being. It's about creating a purposeful start that sets a positive tone for everything that follows. Moving on to celebrating milestones, think birthdays, anniversaries, or other special occasions. These moments are perfect opportunities to foster connection and reflection. Incorporating ancient rituals, such as ceremonial gatherings or blessing rituals, can deepen these celebrations. They help ground our modern festivities in tradition, making them more meaningful. Plus, these rituals create lasting memories and strengthen our community bonds. So, whether it's starting your day with intention or honoring a special milestone with meaningful practices, these rituals help us stay connected to ourselves, each other, and our traditions, even in today's fast-paced world. Let's talk about mindfulness and presence, which are key to creating a sense of calm and clarity in our daily lives. One effective way to do this is by establishing rituals for stress relief. These rituals serve as intentional moments for reflection. Think of them as small pauses that help us reconnect with ourselves. For example, daily practices like morning meditation or evening gratitude exercises can really anchor us in the present. They help us become more aware of our thoughts and emotions, making us more mindful of how we're feeling throughout the day. This awareness is crucial because it allows us to respond to stressors more calmly and with greater clarity. Incorporating ancient rituals, such as breathwork or tea ceremonies, can deepen this experience. These practices ground us, offering a peaceful pause amid the chaos of daily life. They're not just about relaxation, they're about cultivating a sense of presence that supports our overall mental well-being. By making these rituals a regular part of our routine, we're essentially creating a space for reflection, which is essential for maintaining mental clarity and emotional balance. When we practice mindfulness intentionally, we not only reduce stress, but also foster a deeper connection with ourselves, which is at the heart of overall well-being. Today, I want to share some fascinating insights about ancient rituals that are still relevant and can be incorporated into our modern practices. These rituals, some dating back thousands of years, have stood the test of time because they tap into fundamental human values and social connections. For example, certain ceremonies around seasons, like harvest festivals, continue to bring communities together, fostering a sense of belonging and gratitude. Another key point is the ritual of storytelling, which was vital in ancient cultures for passing down knowledge and morals. Today, storytelling remains powerful, whether through media, arts, or even personal conversations, to create shared understanding and reinforce cultural identity. What's really interesting is how many of these rituals focus on mindfulness and reflection, practices that are incredibly relevant in today's fast-paced world. Whether it's a modern take on meditation or communal gatherings that emphasize collective well-being, these ancient rituals remind us of the importance of intentionality and connection. Connecting this to our overall theme, It's clear that these enduring practices highlight the universal human desire for meaning, connection, and continuity. Even as societies evolve, these rituals continue to serve as anchors, helping us stay grounded and aligned with our values. Now, let's explore some cleansing rituals that can really help us reset and refresh our energy. First up is smudging with sage. This involves burning dried sage leaves to clear out negative energy from spaces, objects, or even ourselves. It's an ancient practice rooted in Native American traditions, but it's still very relevant today. Many people find that smudging promotes mental clarity, peace, and a sense of purification. It's a simple yet powerful way to create a more positive environment. Next, we have bathing rituals. Think of practices like the Japanese ofuro, which is a deep, relaxing bath designed to foster mindfulness and relaxation. These rituals allow us to reconnect with our bodies, slow down, and truly be present. Adding elements like aromatherapy or herbal infusions can elevate the experience, making it not just about cleansing the body, but also nurturing the mind and spirit. Both of these rituals highlight how we can incorporate mindful practices into daily life, supporting our overall well-being and spiritual health. They remind us that cleansing isn't just physical, it's also about clearing mental and emotional clutter, which is so essential in today's busy world. Now, let's take a closer look at harvest celebrations and giving thanks ceremonies. These traditions have deep roots in ancient times, where communities would come together to express gratitude for the abundance of the harvest. Today, many of these customs are still practiced, often in modern forms. The core idea is about fostering a sense of gratitude, not just for the food we enjoy, but for the connections we share with family, friends, and even with nature itself. When we gather around a meal, we're not only celebrating the bounty of the season, but also reinforcing our social bonds and mindfulness. These ceremonies serve as a wonderful reminder of how important gratitude is in our daily lives. Whether it's through a feast or a moment of reflection, these traditions help us appreciate the cycles of nature and the collective effort it takes to bring food to our tables. So, in essence, these seasonal festivals and giving thanks ceremonies are about more than just the act of celebrating. They're about cultivating a mindset of appreciation and community that can enrich our everyday experiences. Now, moving on to the next point, let's talk about the modern adaptations of ancient rituals. On this date, June 9th, 2025, we're seeing how age-old traditions are being reinterpreted in today's context. These adaptations help keep cultural practices alive, but they also evolve to fit our current society. For example, some communities are using digital platforms to celebrate traditional festivals, making them more accessible and inclusive. Others are reimagining rituals to resonate with contemporary values, such as emphasizing community participation or sustainability. This evolution shows how traditions are not static. They can adapt while still respecting their roots. It's a fascinating way in which history and modernity intersect, and it underscores our overall theme of cultural resilience and innovation. These adaptations not only preserve the essence of the rituals, but also allow them to thrive in a rapidly changing world. Now, let's explore how tradition is blending seamlessly with modern practices. Starting with yoga and meditation, these ancient disciplines have truly evolved over time. Today, they are more than just traditional practices. They've become essential parts of modern wellness routines. What's fascinating is how they combine age-old techniques with contemporary lifestyles. This makes them accessible and relevant to a wide range of people, helping promote both physical health and mental clarity. They also encourage mindfulness, which is so important in our fast-paced world. Moving on to modern-day fire ceremonies, these rituals have also adapted beautifully. Traditionally, they symbolize purification, transformation, and community bonding, and today they serve similar purposes but in ways that resonate with modern spirituality. They can be personalized for individual growth, healing, or even raising awareness about environmental issues. These ceremonies act as a bridge, connecting ancient symbolism with contemporary practices, fostering a sense of community and shared purpose among participants. Overall, what we're seeing is how these traditions are not just preserved, but evolved. making them more meaningful and accessible today. They help us stay connected to our roots while embracing the needs of modern life, which is a perfect example of how tradition and innovation can go hand in hand. Creating your own rituals is a deeply personal process, and it's important to approach it with cultural sensitivity. Modern adaptations of ancient rituals often involve customizing practices to fit our everyday lives. This means blending traditional elements with your own values and beliefs, which helps create a ritual that feels meaningful and authentic to you. When you do this, you not only honor your heritage, but also make the practice more relevant to your current experiences, fostering a stronger personal connection. At the same time, it's crucial to respect the origins and cultural significance of these rituals. That involves understanding their historical background, seeking input from the communities that originally practiced them, and being mindful to avoid cultural appropriation. By doing so, you ensure that your adaptations honor and preserve the integrity of these traditions, while still allowing you to make them your own in a respectful and meaningful way. Now, turning our attention to this specific slide, I want to highlight the psychological impact that rituals can have on us. As we've seen throughout this presentation, rituals aren't just about tradition or routine. They actually serve deeper psychological functions. They help us manage stress, provide a sense of stability, and even foster a sense of community and belonging. When we perform rituals, whether big or small, it can create a feeling of control in uncertain situations. That's especially relevant in today's fast-paced world, where many of us experience anxiety or uncertainty. Additionally, rituals can trigger emotional responses, sometimes calming, sometimes energizing, that reinforce positive mental states. They also help us mark transitions or significant life events, giving us a framework to process change. Connecting this back to our overall theme, understanding the psychological effects of rituals helps us appreciate why they're so enduring across cultures and generations. They're not just cultural artifacts, they're vital tools for maintaining mental well-being. So, in essence, rituals shape our minds as much as they shape our cultures. Now, let's talk about the role of rituals when it comes to our mental health. First, rituals provide a sense of security and stability. In a world that often feels unpredictable, these consistent patterns help us create some order out of chaos. They give us predictability, which can really reduce anxiety and help us feel more in control of our lives. Plus, engaging in rituals can foster a sense of belonging, knowing that we're part of something familiar and comforting. This connection is so important for our overall well-being. Now, during times of change or uncertainty, rituals become even more critical. They serve as powerful coping mechanisms, offering structure and comfort when everything else feels uncertain. By sticking to these routines, we can better navigate challenges, boost our emotional resilience, and maintain a sense of control. Ultimately, rituals support our mental health by grounding us and helping us adapt, even in tough times. So, integrating meaningful rituals into our daily lives can be a key strategy for maintaining stability and well-being. Let's take a closer look at how rituals can really enhance our emotional well-being. When we engage in rituals, we're creating a structured way to express our emotions. Whether we're processing feelings of grief, celebrating moments of joy, or managing stress, these routines give us a safe space to work through what we're feeling. And that emotional expression is so important because it helps us feel heard and understood. Not only does this foster a sense of community and belonging, because shared rituals connect us with others, but it also boosts our mental resilience. When our experiences are validated through these routines, we feel more equipped to handle life's ups and downs. This, in turn, enhances our emotional awareness, helping us recognize and understand our feelings better over time. Now, moving to the idea of expression of emotions, rituals provide a sense of stability and predictability. In the chaos of everyday life, having these consistent practices can be incredibly grounding. They serve as anchors during challenging times, giving us something familiar to hold on to. By incorporating meaningful practices into our routines, we're not just coping, we're actively building resilience. These rituals become tools that help us navigate difficult moments more effectively, strengthening our capacity to bounce back and maintain emotional health. And that's really at the heart of enhancing emotional well-being, creating a supportive framework that helps us thrive, even in tough times. Today, I want to explore the fascinating world of rituals across different cultures. As we look at this slide, keep in mind that rituals serve as powerful expressions of identity, values, and beliefs. They help communities connect, preserve traditions, and mark significant life events. What's interesting is how, despite cultural differences, many rituals share common themes like rites of passage, celebrations, or spiritual practices. For example, a wedding ceremony in one culture might look very different from another, but both serve to symbolize a transition or a new beginning. Recognizing these shared patterns helps us understand the universal human need for meaning and connection. So, as we move forward, think about how rituals shape not just individual lives, but entire cultures, and how they tie into the broader themes of tradition and identity that run throughout this presentation. Now, let's take a closer look at the comparative analysis of rituals across the globe. One of the most fascinating aspects is the common themes that emerge in many cultures. For example, rituals often emphasize a connection to nature, which helps people feel more in tune with the world around them. Community bonding is another key element, bringing people together to share in meaningful experiences. And of course, rituals frequently mark important life transitions, such as coming of age, marriage, or even seasonal changes. These shared themes serve a vital purpose. They foster a sense of shared identity and help maintain cultural continuity over generations. It's really a testament to the universal human need for meaning and belonging, no matter where we come from or what culture we belong to. At the same time, while these themes are common, the specific practices vary widely around the world. For example, in Japan, the tea ceremony isn't just about drinking tea. It symbolizes purity, tranquility, and respect. Meanwhile, in India, the Diwali festival celebrates light overcoming darkness, symbolizing hope and renewal. Each of these rituals reflects core values of the respective cultures, strengthening community bonds and spiritual connections. Ultimately, what's really compelling is how these ancient rituals continue to hold significance today. They're not just traditions of the past, they're living practices that reinforce cultural identity, foster community, and connect us to something greater than ourselves. So, whether it's a quiet tea ceremony or a vibrant festival, rituals are a universal thread that ties us all together. Let's take a moment to explore how rituals from different cultures give us a window into the incredible diversity of human experience. These rituals reflect unique beliefs and practices that have been passed down through generations, offering us valuable insights into what matters most to different communities. By embracing these traditions, we can develop a deeper understanding of others, which helps foster respect and genuine connections across cultures. Understanding and respecting cultural rituals isn't just about being polite, it's about appreciating the significance behind them. When we engage with these practices, we open ourselves up to new perspectives and enrich our own lives through shared human experiences. It's a powerful way to build bridges of understanding and promote inclusivity. Ultimately, respecting cultural traditions enhances our awareness and appreciation for the richness of human diversity. It encourages us to have meaningful dialogue, to celebrate heritage, and to recognize the value that each culture brings to our global community. When we actively seek out and honor these rituals, we not only learn about others but also grow personally and collectively. And that's really at the heart of embracing diversity of rituals and respecting cultural traditions in our interconnected world. Now, let's turn our attention to some real-world examples with case studies of successful ritual integration. These examples highlight how organizations have effectively embedded rituals into their culture to foster engagement and reinforce core values. When we look at these cases, you'll notice that the key is consistency and authenticity, making sure the rituals truly resonate with the team and reflect the company's identity. One common thread among these successes is that rituals are not just superficial activities. They are meaningful practices that create a sense of belonging and reinforce the desired behaviors. As we connect this to our overall theme, Remember that integrating rituals thoughtfully can transform how teams communicate and collaborate, ultimately driving the organization forward. These case studies serve as practical proof that when done right, rituals can be powerful tools for cultural reinforcement. Let's take a closer look at workplace rituals and how they can truly transform our team dynamics. When we incorporate ancient rituals into modern team-building activities, we're not just adding fun, we're fostering real collaboration and building trust. For example, activities like group storytelling or circle sharing mimic traditional practices that encourage open communication. These rituals help team members connect on a deeper level, creating stronger bonds and improving overall cohesion. Moving on to recognition and motivation rituals, these are equally powerful. Think about weekly shout-outs or celebrating milestones together. These simple acts cultivate a positive workplace culture, boost morale, and make employees feel valued. When we integrate these kinds of rituals, we're showing that even age-old traditions still hold relevance today, especially when it comes to keeping our teams engaged and motivated. Finally, comparing different approaches, whether it's one method versus another, helps us see what resonates best with our team and organizational goals. Overall, these rituals, both team building and recognition, are essential tools that connect us to our roots while enhancing productivity and creating a more cohesive work environment. Now, let's talk about family and community practices, starting with family gatherings. These gatherings have deep roots in ancient rituals, serving as a way to strengthen connections and reinforce our sense of identity. Think about shared meals, storytelling sessions, or seasonal celebrations. All of these help build bonds and create lasting memories. They're more than just traditions. They're vital in passing down values and customs that resonate through generations. Even today, these practices keep our cultural relevance alive, blending the old with the new. Moving on to community service days, they're kind of like modern-day rituals that foster unity and a shared purpose. When communities come together for a day of service, it's not just about helping others, it's about building a sense of solidarity. These collective efforts strengthen bonds among neighbors, teach important values like altruism, and create meaningful experiences. Essentially, they echo traditional practices of cooperation and mutual support, but in a way that's relevant and impactful for our current lives. Both family gatherings and community service days remind us how important connection, tradition, and shared purpose are in shaping a resilient, caring community. Today is June 9th, 2025, and as we reach the conclusion of our presentation, I want to emphasize the timelessness of rituals. Throughout our discussion, we've seen how rituals serve as a bridge between the past and the present, connecting generations and cultures. They provide a sense of continuity, identity, and stability, no matter how much the world around us changes. What's fascinating is that, despite evolving societies and technological advances, rituals remain relevant because they fulfill fundamental human needs for belonging, meaning, and tradition. They help us mark important life moments, reinforce shared values, and create a sense of community. This idea ties directly into our overall theme, how understanding rituals can give us insight into human nature and cultural evolution. They are not just old customs, they are living practices that adapt and endure because they speak to something deeply universal. So, in sum, rituals are truly timeless. They evolve but never lose their essential purpose. Recognizing their enduring significance allows us to appreciate both their historical roots and their ongoing relevance today. Now, let's explore how rituals serve as a vital link between our past and our present, and how they can be powerful tools for future growth. Rituals, as many of us know, have roots in ancient practices, but their significance goes far beyond history. They transcend time by helping us create a sense of connection and meaning in today's busy world. These practices act as bridges, connecting us to our cultural heritage and giving us a sense of continuity. They remind us of shared human experiences, moments of celebration, reflection, or even mourning that shape our collective identity. Importantly, rituals aren't just about tradition. They're enduring frameworks that promote reflection, foster community bonds, and build emotional resilience. When we embrace these practices, we harness their transformative power, helping us navigate modern challenges more effectively. Ultimately, rituals help us grow personally and collectively. They honor our traditions while also inspiring us to move forward. Reflecting on this, it's clear that understanding and valuing rituals is essential, not only for preserving our cultural identity, but also for shaping a resilient, connected future. So, as we look at embracing rituals, it's important to see how they can really serve as a foundation for personal growth. When we incorporate meaningful rituals into our lives, they help us create a sense of structure and purpose. This isn't just about doing things regularly, it's about fostering mindfulness, being present in the moment, and promoting emotional healing. These practices encourage us to become more self-aware, which leads to a deeper understanding of ourselves. And through that process, we often find our connection to the community strengthens as well. Now, on a broader level, rituals also have the power to build bridges between the past and the present. They connect us to our history and traditions, which can be incredibly grounding. By engaging in these shared practices, we cultivate a sense of belonging and mindfulness that enriches our lives. It's really about creating a more connected world, one where relationships are deepened and shared values cross cultural boundaries. In essence, embracing rituals helps us foster community, understanding, and a sense of shared humanity that benefits us all. Thank you so much for being with me throughout this journey. Today's date, June 9th, 2025, marks a significant milestone for the Masonic Audiobook Library. It's incredible to see how far we've come, and I want to express my heartfelt appreciation for your support and engagement. This library has grown into a valuable resource, connecting history, knowledge, and community through the power of audiobooks. As we wrap up, I encourage you to continue exploring and sharing these stories. Remember, the library is a living, breathing collection that thrives because of our collective passion for learning. Thank you once again for being part of this experience.